What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Gloss Garage, where we make detailing simple. My name is Sak, and today I have something special for you guys. Today I will be doing a dedicated review on the DIY Detail Rinseless Wash V2, and I've used this about 4 to 5 vehicles, but at this time I let my vehicle get super dirty, so this way you guys can see its cleaning powers. And also, I'll do a quick touch-up video on the Legacy Sponge V2 that they came out with, and pretty much the premise is that they switched manufacturers, so they went over to Buff and Shine, and they changed the adhesive and glue that separates the black and red foam. But that's pretty much it. This is how my vehicle looks. It is super dirty, so let's get on to the video. Alright, everyone, so this is the back of the vehicle. It is super dirty. I haven't washed the car in about a month, and I already have the DIY Detail Rinseless Wash diluted, and these are the old Legacy sponges, and I've been using the Rinseless V2 for about 3 to 4 vehicles already, maybe 5. Have about this much left just because I like to put stuff in a 2-gallon sprayer, so that way I have for a while. As you can see, it's a milkier type of substance, and also it smells the same. They were also kind enough to send me the DIY Detail Legacy sponge, the new one. So as I open this one up, at first glance they said that they updated this glue or adhesive glue. First glance it still feels a little bit firmer, this one, I don't know why. And then if I grab the one that's inside the bucket, and this one's pretty old. I think this is literally my first sponge that I have. It kind of still feels the same, but maybe since this isn't like a, I don't want to say Velcro, I don't know what this type of material is, but it feels like some type of fabric compared to the new one, which kind of feels more like a glue, but it still feels rough on here. So I'm not sure. Maybe it'll soften up over time, but yeah, that's all I got from this, really. So this is my first legit review on the Rinseless Wash V2, and like I said, I've been using this for a bit and I've been enjoying it so far. It really deep cleans really well. Look, I'm just gonna spray the IK spray on here. Look how much of that dirt and grime comes off right away with just one spray. Just with the spray alone, it removed that much of the dirt and grime. And I'm just gonna grab the new Legacy sponge, dip it in here, really nice, and then remove the other 2 old ones for now. And here we go. Take some of that out and just wipe. No pressure whatsoever, just clean. The new Legacy sponge, everything feels the same about it. I don't feel no difference, but let me show you the cleaning power of this. So we removed all that dirt and grit, and same thing as always, it still has great cleaning capabilities. Oops. Let me put this up, squeeze this out. Still has great cleaning capabilities. Cleans the sponge amazingly well, as you see right there. And let me grab a dirtier part of the vehicle. So let me go over on this side. I did the wheels and tires off screen. As you can see, it's that area is slightly clean. But let me just do another area for you guys. I'm just gonna pre-spray this, let it emulsify, do whatever it needs to do. Whatever is left is really the traffic film that you see there. I'm just gonna remove that and show you the cleaning capability. And this Rinseless Wash just feels super slick as well. It's crazy good. I'm gonna grab a whole bunch of dirt and grime from here. Don't do what I'm doing. I'm just doing this just to grab as much of that dirt and grit. And let me just flip this over. Just gonna dunk it into the bucket. There's only one sponge in there. Dunk it, lift this up, squeeze, and nice and clean. Pretty much it. Now we have a clean panel. And I'm going to spray this as such. I'm gonna wipe down the whole panel as well, and I'm gonna let this dry in the sun. When you leave this dry in the sun, it's about 70 degrees outside. It'll encapsulate all that dirt and grime, and whatever spots that are left behind, say those water spots, those aren't really water spots, those are polymer spots that are left behind on the glass. And that's pretty much it, really. Nothing much stuff behind. I'm just cleaning this panel, and I'm gonna let it emulsify more of that bird poop. And now, say you're ready to clean the glass. No pressure with the sponge right away. And the crazy thing is, you can use a little bit of pressure on glass or plastic trim as it will not scratch. But you can see there, nice and clean. Come back around, come down here. I'm gonna let the right side dry up. And do this as such. I'm sorry that I'm speaking low, it's just my grandmother's doing something in the house and I can't speak too loud. That's about it. I just cleaned this whole panel. Just double down again, just because it is super dirty. And that's pretty much it. Nothing to it here. Let me show you on the hood. And all right, so this is another super dirty part of the vehicle, and same thing, pre-spray a bit of rinseless on the hood. Let it encapsulate and emulsify that dirt, great grime, traffic foam, whatever that's on the actual paint. Let that sit as such. And as I'm doing that, let's speak about the two main differences I've noticed really between their V1 and V2. That's something I really didn't touch up on, just because the legacy sponge, so I was reviewing that on the front side, and it is still super clean as you see. But one thing I want to touch up on is it has a much more milkier type of look to it. And also, I think they say they added a bit more polymers or a different polymer to make it slicker, which it does feel a bit slicker, and I've actually tested side by side with it. Is it a huge substantial difference? Not necessarily. Again, everything is just by feel, right? It just depends. But it does feel super slick. I like the fact that it has to me, a little bit more of a longer working time, meaning that it doesn't dry as quick on the surface as V1, and that's something that I don't think a lot of people notice. But I'm leaving it here in the sun, and it's like the wetting agents, I would like to say, that just actually just doesn't dry up as quick compared to the surfactant heavy one, which was the V1. And now I'm just gonna wipe, no pressure. I'm just gonna do this whole path, grab all that dirt, grit, and grime. And I do have a coating on my car, so with that being said, it is going to clean up a lot easier. But although I do have a coating, I'm still going to double down, just because I want to make sure the surface is completely clean. Come back around, do this other half of the hood, and then what I'm going to do is I'm also going to show you how well it actually deep cleans the pores of the paint. Is it like a alkaline type of rinseless? No, this is something to keep your vehicle and maintain your vehicle in between its maintenance decon washes. But overall, it cleans the surface very well. And I'm going to spray a bit of that. We're going to spray a bit of water on here just to show you that the water beading characteristics aren't masked. It doesn't mask anything that's on the surface of what you have. And on the right half, I do have ADS Pro, and on the left half, I have Labo Cosmetica. And in the middle, I have nothing. And as you can see, the middle is pretty flat. And once I start spraying both sides, see armor detail supply, labo, and middle, it just floods up. So it doesn't mask any properties of your coating. It deep cleans very well. Look how dirty the bucket is, and I'm only done with half the vehicle. I got this other half to do, and let me show you that on a lower panel just to prove that it's not just a one-sided type of test. All right, so let me show you on this lower half. All I did was apply the rinseless. As you can see, there's still dirty water down there, and obviously on side skirts right there. And I'm just going to spray just to show you that the beading properties are still there. Same thing over here. I just wipe down the rinseless. I missed a little spot there, but same thing. It doesn't mask any beading properties of your vehicle. And just look at that. That thing looks phenomenal. It deep cleans the paint very, very, very nice. All right, so once the vehicle is washed, you don't need a drying aid for the DIY Rinseless V2, and this does feel so much more slicker than their V1, just as a standalone if you're drying the vehicle and you're not using any type of drying aid, because you don't need it with a rinseless. But what I enjoy to do is I'm going to apply a little bit of C6 mist just to give it that extra shine and gloss on here. And this is just a drying aid. You don't need a lot. Literally, it's in the name of the title, it's mist. And you just wipe it in, and with the second towel, just wipe it off. And that's it. Nice, clean. You have much more slickness on the surface. It doesn't, any type of coating that you have with C6 mist, it helps the water repellency. It doesn't mask it, like say if you were to use ceramic gloss or any other type of SiO2 detailer. It's just really meant to be there as a drying aid, give it a little bit of that boost of shine, and pretty much within like a week, this thing is gone. That's about it. It's just really meant to be used as a true drying aid. Same thing here on the glass. I left the other side wet but rinseless, just so you can see that once it dries in the sun on the glass, it's already dried up. I'm just drying up the rest of the vehicle, and then we're gonna head there just to show you that it's been sitting there for about like 15 minutes or so as I continue around the rest of the vehicle. And that's about it. You just give it shine, slickness, not really necessarily protection with C6 mist. And this Rinseless Wash, I'm gonna say they definitely upgraded. You know, sometimes other companies, when they release a second version of the rinseless, they don't upgrade it. So very nice of DIY to upgrade the formula, because lately a lot of rinseless washes has been coming out that's been feeling slicker than their V1. But the only thing is that their V1 really cleaned amazingly well compared to other ones. But now they up the slickness, and the flash time when you dry is just great as well with the V2 rinseless. So they did an amazing job. Look how shiny and glossy it looks. Very nice, very clean. I'm gonna let the windshield dry up. Like I said, I'm just drying up the rest of the vehicle, and I will see you once I'm done drying up everything and putting tire dressing, and then we'll touch up on the water spots or the polymer spots and see if they wipe off easily. All right, everyone, so the vehicle is washed, dried, cleaned, and the only thing we did not dry up was the windshield and the windows here on the side on the sun, and it's completely baked on there. It's been like that for over 15 minutes, because remember, the sun gets hot, and this is direct, not the sun, the glass gets hot, and this is in literally direct sunlight. If you get these water spots, you don't need to worry. All you gotta do is get more rinseless And I'm just gonna spray it on my towel, on this microfiber that I have right here. And all you gotta do is just reapply rinseless. Wipe that in and just wipe off. That's literally it. Nothing to it. No streaks, no nothing. Same thing on the windshield. See those spots? Grab your damp rinseless. Let me dampen it a little bit more. That's damp. And just apply. Act like you're just gonna clean the glass. And just wipe off. Nice and easy. No spots there. And on the other half, see all of these spots. So hopefully you guys were able to see that. And overall, this rinseless wash, one of the top rinseless washes in the game for sure. So I will see you on the outro. In terms of the bucket, this is what the bucket looks like. Rinseless wash sponge is still super clean, as you see there. And that is how much dirt, grime, grit, all that stuff came off the vehicle, and the sponge is still clean. It's crazy. These aren't stains or anything. Eventually, yes, it'll stain in the future, but perfectly clean. That's all I got for now. Let me see you guys on the outro. Alright everyone, so hopefully you all enjoyed this video. So what are my final thoughts on the DIY Rinseless V2? And they're just top 3 things, and I've been using this about 4 to 5 vehicles. I already used half a bottle of that, and you already know that I've been testing it for a while. And it was just a good video to use this side by side with their new Legacy sponge. But all in all, what are my thoughts? First things off with the Legacy sponge. Overall, to be quite honest, it still does feel a little bit rough on the side. It is a different material that they are using, and that's something that I did feel. The sponge is a little bit stiffer, but that's because even the Legacy, the other one, the foams are still the same. It's just going to take a little bit longer, just because of the simple fact that I had the other ones for over a year, while this one I only had it for a couple. Once I let it dunk in there and the rinseless wash, it will soften up a lot more. But that's about it. It performs exactly like their version 1. There's nothing really different besides that material that's in the middle. It still feels a little bit rough. I still wouldn't use this side to actually clean the vehicle. I only use the 2 flat surfaces. Now for the Rinseless V2, let's talk about that and those changes that I feel, especially after using it 4 to 5 vehicles, on what I've really noticed. So one thing I've noticed for sure on the V2 is, obviously everybody can visually see it, is it's a lot milkier, it's a lot more creamy, the look of the substance. Now in terms of the usage, I noticed it has a little bit more of like a wetting agent, even when I use it on black vehicles. On hotter days, what would happen is that I would have a little bit longer work time than I did with V1, and I think that's probably because of the wetting agent or whatever that's in the Rinseless V2. Because Rinseless V1, when I used to spray it on, it would dry up pretty quick, and you would really have to do panel per panel. With V2, you can actually stretch it out a little bit more. You could do an extra panel, and that's what I've noticed with that. So that's pro number 1. Pro number 2 that I've noticed is that it does feel a lot slicker. It just glides over the surface, and that's, again, they changed their polymers. That's what they said on their V2. Now the third thing I've noticed is sometimes you'll get a little bit of streaking, and that's because if you over applied. I did apply a little bit more extra on another vehicle that I use, and even on this one, on my vehicle, just a little bit more, just to see if I would get that streaking, and no streaking whatsoever, not even on glass. And the fourth thing I noticed is it flashes off a lot easier. When I mean flashes off easy, I mean, you saw how I cleaned the glass and I wiped it, flashed right away, no streaks, no nothing. It just dissipates right away. It's one of those things where it's weird, right? You leave it on the surface, it's wet, it takes longer for it to evaporate on the surface. But then the minute you wipe it off, it just flashes off quick. It's just, that's what I noticed. And the fifth thing that I noticed that is really the last thing on in my book. Damn, I forgot what I was gonna say. So I already touched up on those things. It'll probably pop up in my head. But those are the top 4 things so far that I've noticed is the, oh, that's what I wanted to say. So also the slickness. I know I spoke up on the slickness, but I really wanted to touch up a little bit more on the slickness. Is that with the V1, it did feel grabby just as a standalone. You know how typically rinseless wash, or pretty much with a rinseless wash, you don't need a drying aid. With the V1, it did feel a little bit grabby, but for this one, just a standalone, as you saw when I did the rear quarter panel, just wiping it, drying it with the towel, it was just super slick. Is it ultra slick like IOSave? And no, it's not, but it is very slick, and you don't need a drying aid for that for sure. But I ended up using C6 Mist, which is my favorite drying aid at the moment. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that video. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Other than that, I will see you guys on the next one.